All right, 49er faithful. The news is out there. It is officially Super Bowl Sunday. Deebo Samuel has requested a trade. We'll take a look into this, how this is going to pan out for the San Francisco 49ers just moving forward. You can see Ian Rappaport reported early the 49ers are expected to explore trading star wide receiver Deebo Samuel and what could be a wild offseason. A parting for Samuel in San Francisco is not guaranteed, but it may make sense for all parties. Now, for those that don't know, make sure you hit this like button. All right, feel free to subscribe to the channel, especially if this is your first time watching. Click on that subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel, support what I do here, bringing you all that good content, man, become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. All right, you could do that. That would help out in a long way. All right. So Deebo Samuel, and we'll talk about him requesting the trade. The trade wasn't requested as of today, but just going through everything and stuff that's panning out, we'll go ahead and read some of this stuff. Adam Schefter said the 49ers have granted Deebo Samuel and his agent Torrey Dandy permission to find a trade partner for the wide receiver. Samuel told ESPN this comes after Samuel asked San Francisco to trade him during the players' exit meetings after the season. So when the season ended, Deebo Samuel asked the 49ers to be traded. Basically, during the exit meetings, he knew that his time potentially could be done here. It's contractual, obviously. The 49ers aren't looking to extend Deebo Samuel. He knows that. And so he's looking to get out of the contract, possibly be traded, and get a new contract in a different situation, which I say is money for Deebo Samuel. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Deebo, I love Deebo Samuel. I'm just saying this is probably going to be the best situation for my man Deebo moving forward. So let's go ahead. Let's look into that just a little bit. Let's go back to this statement right here. And it says it was a hard conversation. Quote, it was a hard conversation to have with Kyle Shanahan because of the relationship that we have, Samuel said today. But I have to do what's best. I'm more thankful for the Niners giving me the opportunity of a lifetime. But now I think it's best that we find another team. It's best that we find another team. And you're starting to see, players like all across the league. I mean, earlier this week, Super Bowl week kicked off. Earlier was Myles Garrett. He requested a trade to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. You see what the Rams are doing with Cooper Kupp, even though Kupp didn't request the trade, but you see the stuff that's happening. Now, per Spot Rack, this is where I get all my info from. All right, trading Deebo Samuel, new team would acquire 1 year, $17.5 million, non-guaranteed type of a contract, but the 49ers will create this crazy amount of money per dead cap space. All right, per dead cap. Now let's go ahead and just take a quick look at what Deebo Samuel's contract looks like headed into, you know what I'm saying, the next several seasons. And so as you look at this, okay, you can see Deebo Samuel, we're on that year 2025. He is 29 years old, will be turning 30 next year. And you can see how the money is pretty much broken down for Deebo Samuel. His base salary, $1.1 million. The prorated signing bonus he gets, 4.8. The restructured money, okay? And this is kind of like where we're getting into as far as with Deebo. Now, Deebo's cap hit number for this year, I believe, is $15 million. As you can see as we scroll across right here, this number right here. So that's how much his contract would affect this year's cap. But if they are to trade Deebo Samuel post June 1st, then they're going to be responsible for that 31 point, million dollars with the dead cap. Now, whatever team I think takes on the money of the contract, I think how this works is the difference is what the Niners will have to eat. So we subtract, let's just say it was that 17.5 number that Spot Rack put up there. I think you take the 17.5 from whatever the Niners would still owe on the dead cap, and that's how much they would owe on the dead cap part of the contract. So listen, it doesn't look like Deebo Samuel is going to be a 49er moving forward. This is not necessarily breaking news because the trade hasn't officially happened, but I definitely wanted to make you win of what's going on Super Bowl Sunday. Today is Super Bowl 59 Sunday. It's the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And right now, it's all about the San Francisco 49ers, all right? All about the 49ers. Now, Deebo requesting this trade. It's going to take the two teams to actually make it happen. You kind of see where the money is looking like. But let's get back to some of the stuff that's actually going down now. Dave Lombardi said Deebo Samuel, many will be talking about near term dead money, which is what I was just kind of talking about, but it's not really about that. He says salary cap space carries over from season to season, so any savings are valuable. So the Niners can save some money in the long run. All right, so I think that's what he's alluding to. In case of Samuel move before March 22nd, option bonuses hit, 49ers would open up 15.4 million, that long-term reservoir, and pick up a draft pick which has cap value too. So this all ties into the bigger roster picture. That's why I said in the long run, the Niners will be better off in the long run financially, and hopefully, with the players that they actually have on their roster productively, right? You're hoping in the long run. Now, draft pick, purposes for me, look, I'm looking for a third round pick. You're not going to get a second round pick. Deebo was drafted in the second round. He is older in the league, but he still has value. He still has value. And for those that are new to football, it's almost draft time. And this is when this stuff starts to heat up, right? So we've heard about contract. We heard about trade rumors last season. Deebo Samuel. We heard about trade rumors last season with Brandon Ayuk because it was contract season. And the whole purpose of that is to get the highest draft capital in which you can get. Now, if the Niners can earn themselves another third round pick and possibly use these mid picks, third round picks, those day two pick, maybe potentially moving back up into the first round. And so if they could package up a several amount of picks, they can get back up into a day one pick possibly and get a late first rounder if they could find a team that's suitable and willing to trade with them. So I understand everything that's going down. And let me be the first to say, as much as I love Deebo, I'm in love with the San Francisco 49ers. So whatever the 49ers choose to do, I'm on their back supporting it 1,478 billion%. And I know there's only 100%, but you get where I'm going. You get my drift. And I do definitely, wherever Deebo goes, I wish him well, wish him the best, and I hope that his career turns out to be exactly what he hopes for his career to turn out to be. But as far for the San Francisco 49ers, I'm trying to figure out what are they going to do to get better. If you're moving on from Deebo Samuel, that plan better be in full effect. This can't be just about draft picks. It can't be. Could this potentially mean that they're going to be definitely trying to go all in for a Myles Garrett? That's a good question. I don't know. All I notice is this can't just be about gaining draft capital, but with Brock Purdy's contract situation coming into play and he's going to get the bag, you got to find ways to trim. Where can you trim some money? And you got to look at some of these big contracts that I'm looking at. And it's going to start with a wide receiver that you already drafted a wide receiver last year. There's potentially you might draft another receiver this year. And you might look at wide receivers in free agency as well. Now, Larry Krueger put out, I've been told that Deebo is selling his Bay Area home. I doubt the 49ers will get more than the fifth round in return. Now, see, I said I wanted a third rounder. I really think the Niners are going to get a fourth round pick. They don't have a fifth round pick in the draft this year, but I think they'll get a little bit higher than a fifth. The issue with getting higher draft capital is the amount of money on that last year on that contract, because it's set to at that $15 million. It's like, who's willing to pay $15 million? You know what I'm saying, for a player to give up a pick, a first round pick. That's you get what I'm saying. So I don't see the San Francisco 49ers. Like, how much is a fifth round pick? How much is a fourth round pick? I think the Niners can try to get at least a fourth. I would love for them to get a third, but fifth round pick is what Larry Krueger is saying. He seemed to be auditioning for McDaniel in the Miami game. Could San Francisco flip him? I guess that was one of his best games that Deebo Samuel had of the season. Let me just check Deebo's stats real quick. If you remember when we went to Miami, and remember you got to go back dating how Deebo met with Mike McDaniel in the offseason of his contract year. Remember? I definitely remember that. All right, so going back to 2024 when we played the Dolphins. All right, we lost that game 17-29. Deebo had 9 targets, 7 receptions for 96 yards. That was a game they featured. He also had a touchdown in that game. He also rushed 5 times for 25 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry in that game. And so that could have been Deebo's. It could have been something that they're looking to do. Will they move him to Miami? That's something to definitely talk about. If so, what are you looking to get in return? Um, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Look, it's clear Deebo wants out. It's clear. But I'm not sure if that's what the 49ers want, but I can't wait to see how this all pans out in the long run. Deebo Samuel requesting a trade. He's about to be out of here from the San Francisco 49ers. And let's take a couple, we're going to go free agents. Let's talk about some free agents real quick. You know what I mean? And free agent wise, you got T. Higgins. Could this be a possible player that the 49ers are willing to invest in? Young wide receiver, great guy, can get open, can be a one, can be a two, can be the X, Y, the Z, can play all of them. Will be expensive for the 49ers. Are they looking to tie more money into the wide receiving position? It's a question, but if they are looking to compete, if they are looking to be that team that's still in the front of getting a Super Bowl, they're going to have to replace Deebo Samuel's production. I love Ricky Pearsall. I'm hoping Jacob Cowing develops, but if you're looking to bring in a guy, you got to remember there is no Brandon Ayuk this early this season. We don't know when he's going to return, and if you're moving on from Deebo Samuel, there has to be a great plan at wide receiver there. So could it be the high price free agent T. Higgins? Also, let's look at speed. Let's add some speed element to this roster. Yeah, we got Jacob Cowing. You could probably say Cowing and Marquise Hollywood Brown share the same sentiments as far as speed, but Hollywood Brown's a proven commodity in the NFL, and when healthy, he takes the top off the defense. We already know that Brock Purdy likes to get the ball down the field. So could Hollywood Brown be that free agent that the Niners seek after this free agency, to add to the wide receiving core? All right, let's look at Deontay Johnson. I know nobody wants to touch this guy. Nobody wants to talk about him or his name or whatever like that. But when he's on the team, he is definitely productive. We know how he was with Pittsburgh. We understand the situations that's been happening. Could be a character guy. Could be somebody that the 49ers, John Lynch says, no, we'll stay away from. But I don't really see him causing problems. He just wants to be thrown the ball. So could this be a potential, situation where they go after a guy on a 1-year deal, right? 1-year deal for Deontay Johnson. Prove it, right? You're not spending a lot of money. He's a veteran. He's an older guy in the NFL. Could this be, 28 years old? I'll take it. He's a little bit younger than Deebo, but I mean, he's been in the league for a few years. Could this be a player, Deontay Johnson? All right. And then last but not least, the veteran of the veterans, and nobody's talking about this guy, Demarcus Robinson, who played for the Chiefs. He's played for the Rams. He always has great games against the San Francisco 49ers. He's going to be a free agent. I don't know if the Rams are going to be looking to resign him, even though they are looking to trade Cooper Kupp. How crazy, I got a scenario, but Demarcus Robinson could be a great addition. He's an older player. He would replace Chris Conley, in my opinion. He can get open down the field, and that's what the 49ers need. He can run these routes. He knows the system. It's the same system. He's going from the Rams system to the Niners system. They run the same offense, same concepts, everything. I think this would be a pretty good free agent. So let me know in the comment section what you think of my free agent choices. You know what I'm saying? I got a few more that we could talk about. But those would be my top 4 that I would probably seek after if I'm John Lynch looking to replace the production somewhat of Deebo Samuel. You might not replace the impact, but you can find ways to replace the production of Deebo Samuel. And that's going to be the hardest thing. How do you replace the impact and what Deebo does? You don't have another receiver that's going to be able to line up in the backfield and give you that type of an option. We're not built that way, but maybe we're moving on from that, which I'm totally fine with. It wasn't working toward the end of, Deebo's career here with the 49ers. Teams knew about it. They just zeroed in on it, and they planned for it. So Kyle's going to have to figure out a different way, and maybe moving on from Deebo Samuel is the way to do it, all right? Is the way to do it. Now, crazy idea out there. What if, just what if? What if Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, they trade Deebo Samuel for Cooper Kupp? Would you do that deal straight up, down, trade Cooper Kupp? Let me know. Cooper for Deebo Samuel. Would you make that deal? Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, especially if this is your first time watching. All right. And make sure you become a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. Support the channel, support everything that I'm bringing to you, doing here, getting information, going out, traveling, doing all that type of stuff, man. Definitely support the Breezie Bunch crew. It'll be something that you do not want to miss out on. Last and certainly not least, it's Super Bowl 59 preview. The Niners are gearing up for Super Bowl 60. I can already see. And last question I have, Chiefs or Eagles? Chiefs or Eagles? Let me know. Thanks for watching.